Hello, everyone. This week I wanted to talk about getting to know the venue. So, if you're going out to do an event of some kind, take the time, look the venue up online. You can look at Google Earth and things, but take the time to go and see the venue in person. Now, if you're a wedding photographer or something like that, that could be fairly easy. It might be where the reception the night before is held, for example. But if not, get there and get an idea of the space. And another thing to keep an eye out for are those little private places. Places where people are going to go where maybe they just want to get away from the party for a bit. Maybe they want to have a conversation in private. Areas to keep away from. You're not a paparazzi. You're there to shoot the wedding. So make sure that you give people their space. And the best way to do that is to get an idea of what the space is like, the atmosphere of it. If you can do it at the same time that you're going to shoot the event, same time of the day, that is, see if you can see what the light is like. Look for spots to capture really fantastic photographs. Get an idea for the areas that you're going to have to avoid because of the bright, harsh sunlight. Or does that mean that you're going to need to bring some umbrellas so that you can put the umbrella between the sun and your subject to give them a diffuse light and get away from that harshness? You have a lot of options when you're going to a site. A lot of wedding sites this time of the year are going to be outdoors. So it's probably going to mean bringing some kind of equipment with you. Now, the types of equipment you could bring are, as I said, an umbrella. These would be a transparent umbrella. It's just there to diffuse the light. Another thing you could do is use flash or LED lighting or something similar where you back the camera off so much that bright daylight looks dark. And if you haven't seen it, there are several pictures of the moon, for example, that were taken during the day. But by backing off, and that is by lowering your f-stop, upping your shutter speed, and decreasing your ISO, you can turn a bright daylit day into a hazier day, a darker day. If you're going to do that, you're going to need some supplemental light, and that's where the flash or the LED lighting would come into play. This will give you the opportunity to balance the light yourself and get away from some of that harshness. But the other thing you can do is if you've got an assistant, you can have them hold a sheet. And of course, you always have the option if you're just a little bit off into a shadowed area. So you've got the shade of a tree, for example, and you have an assistant. You can have them put a reflector out, catch that light and bounce the light onto your subject so that your subject is out of that harsh sunlight. But maybe you give a nice gold tint to them. And maybe for the guy, you give it a silver tint. But by being able to see the venue, especially at the same time of day that you'll be shooting, it'll give you the opportunity to get an idea of how you can lay out your shots, what materials or equipment you need to bring with you, and if you're going to back things off to cut back on the daylight and offset it with some of your own light. Again, if you have somebody who can come with you, be it an assistant or just anybody, who could stand where you're thinking about taking the picture and frame the photograph, use your camera to figure out what is the best settings to have, make a note of it. It'll help you out the next day. It'll give you a blueprint of where you want to be, but in addition, how you want to set your camera for that particular shot in that particular position. And that's what I got for you guys this week, and I will talk to you all next week.